Not only did I move out alone, I moved out with a child. A few months after that, I took my brother and sister with me. Well, you can't be living with a man, you got to be married. And I was like, I'm 16, I'm 17. Like,
do anything razzle you?
if I ever say I'm down, oh, you strong, you strong, you strong. I've lost so much. I've lost a lot. I've been severely depressed because of what other people have done to me.
Hey guys, welcome back to In a Perfect World, where we explore the minds of creators, go-getters, and dreamers. Today, we are starting our very first episode for Women's History Month. So this month for Women's Month, we are going to be exploring 4 different women, 4 different stories surrounded around grief, growth, and perseverance. Now, when I first started this, when I first had the idea to create a series for Women's History Month, I already knew who my first guest was going to be, just off the rip. I was like, oh, I have the perfect person to kick it off. With that being said, I want to introduce you guys to Sharon, aka Dr. Mommy.
Hey.
So y'all know that video of Kamala Harris where she's like, Big Sister General? This is where that comes from. Dr. Mommy, okay? So thank you for being here.
Of course.
In your basement. I guess you do live here. But yeah, so why did I name it A Glimpse of Her? I don't even think did I mention that? It was okay. The title of this series is called A Glimpse of Her. Now, I named it that because while I will have each guest for about an hour and some change, it's really literally just a glimpse of everything you've been through and just life. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When the camera's cut off, that's pretty much it. Okay. I can go and talk to you anytime about anything at any point. But this is really just literally a glimpse of life and just getting an idea of the growth, grief, and the perseverance.
Okay.
So I know I just talked a lot. How are you doing? You look pretty.
I'm good, thank you. It's so nice to be back in a perfect world with you. I like what you did with the play.
Oh my gosh. Last time you were on the show, you were interviewing me.
Yes.
Now you're in the hot seat.
I know. First time.
First timer. Okay. So I put a brief synopsis up on our story just about the surface level of just what life has been like for you. Would you mind giving like a brief synopsis of just life growing up? I don't want to say life overall because we don't get into that, but just the starting point.
Okay. Well, one thing that I will say is something that I am so proud of, where I grew up in Southeast Washington, D.C. I am so proud of that. And the reason why is because of so many different challenges that I've gone through, and when they say never forget where you come from, 10th place gave me the strength to overcome everything that we're going to discuss. I don't know what questions people ask, but being there, it was a reality that I don't think anybody would ever look at me and say, no way, she did not go through that. Having drugs, and not only in my community, but in my home, being affected by that, being a teenage mother, I moved out when I was 15 years old and never went back home. Not only did I move out alone, I moved out with a child. A few months after that, I took my brother and sister with me. So being 15 years old, having a child, in school, just trying to figure out, okay, what I'm going to do. So early on, I learned to be strategic, right? I never had a normal life where I can just be, when I was a kid, like single digits, but I've always been strategizing and, trying to figure it out, maneuvering, always thinking ahead all the time. Even now, I do that.
You do.
But
You
even,
really do.
yeah, I'm always planning ahead, always thinking ahead. But yeah, moving out, still wanting to finish school and still wanting to figure out how I can make my life different and different for my child at the time. So that's a little bit, about my start. But yeah, Southeast, it gave me the strength to overcome anything and everything that I've gone through.
You talked a little bit about having drugs in the home, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of that was a normal thing for you. Drugs in the home, drugs in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I mentioned in your synopsis was like people going away to jail or
Yeah.
death, like death
Yeah.
in the community and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So, how did you view the people around you? Like, did you look at them as, for lack of better words, regular adults because this is my norm,
Mm-hmm.
or did you kind of know this is kind of off?
I didn't look at it as saying this is kind of off because it was all that I've known. It was normal for me, you know. It was normal life. I knew what to expect. I didn't know anything different, but I always knew that I wanted different.
Yeah.
Like I lived in this, but I always had this thing in my mind, like it got to be something better, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna find it.
And that was my next question.
Mm-hmm.
How did you know that there was like that you could live a different way or you could have a different environment if you've only been exposed to one thing?
My biological father, he had both parents in the home. And I remember them from when I was, early as 4 years old. Both of them were in the home. That was normal to me. My tragically, my aunt was murdered. Within a year later, my grandmother died, and then that whole family dynamic changed. But that always stuck with me. And I have nobody else to look to say that's the difference that I want. I remember being like 10 years old, 11 years old, laying on the couch in the living room. And I used to say, when I grow up, I'm gonna take my kids to church. I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna be a good mother. That's 10 years old. So I think being exposed to a family in a house, mother, father, the mother's at home cooking dinner. I think that helped me to see, or at least had it in my mind that yeah, it got to be something different. So I think that just stuck with me.
So, having a child so young and like your formative years, right?
Hmm.
Do you think having that child was like the main motivator for I gotta do different? Or do you think whether you had your child at 15 or at 25, you still would have been like, oh, I'm gonna go get it regardless?
Before I had a child, I always knew I was going to do something different.
Mm,
I always, like I said, I was 10 years old,
mm-hmm.
and I did not like the environment in my home. I knew that I wanted to be a different woman, a different adult. Now, I will say that my grandmother, mama,
Mama.
the best, the absolute best. Now that I'm older, I look back and say that was the strongest woman that I've ever known in my life. You
Mm.
know, a mama was always there for me, but I had my own mother in the home, and my stepfather in the home that was not healthy. And so I always knew that I wanted to be a healthy person. Now, the environment, it was normal, outside and hanging on the porch. It was all normal. I enjoyed my life. Back then, and I have a best friend. And it's been 30, gosh, I don't know, 37, 38, 39 years.
Thank.
And the only title of best friend has, I always think of her. You know, even to this day, now that I'm 50 years old, when I say my best friend, I always think of her. I always think of Jeanette.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's the only one that ever had that title. Me and Jeanette never had an argument. And we would go, I mean, years we didn't talk, but we've never ever had a fight. We've never ever had an argument. To this day, we still have secrets.
What?
To this day, only she and I know. To this day. So 10th place was my foundation. And I'm the young men, the men and women now, you know, we're not young anymore, but the men and women now are substance. It is I'm proud of where I come from. I'm proud to represent my neighborhood, my community, and everything that I do. So that's one of the motivating forces for me. You know, and my success is our success because I'm going to always say where I come from because that gave me the strength to endure everything.
Mm. And you do mention that anytime you do like a speaking engagement, you always start from the very beginning. I feel like, I mean, that's how you tell a story, right?
Yeah.
Always got to start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Can never erase your beginning.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your second child.
Okay.
Because you were a teen mom twice.
Yes.
So you had Chris, my oldest brother, my only brother, the oldest. Then you had Chris. Megan, and that was at 18.
Yes.
So what was your reaction to that?
Girl, so I had to get I had to get away from 10th place because I had my son, you know, and I just had to make some sacrifices. Ended up in situations that now today I know that everything happened for a reason, you know. So I ended up needing somewhere to stay, you know, with my son. Mm-hmm. So I ended up being with somebody that I should have never been with, you know, and but I said, well, I'm just going to stay here for a little bit because I got to finish school.
Yeah.
You know, when I finish school, then I'm going to go
high
into
school.
the high school.
High school.
Then I'm going to I'm going to be a police officer or I'm going to go into the military. You know, like I'm planning ahead, right? Ended up getting pregnant. But I started studying with Jehovah Witnesses like right away. And so with that, it was like, well, you can't be living with a man. You got to be married. And I was like, I'm 15, I moved out. I was 15. I'm like, I'm 16. I'm 17. Like, then all with that whole teaching, you know, I'm like, okay, well, the world not going to last forever. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to get married. I had to get a permission letter from my biological mother so I can get married. So I ended up, I got pregnant at 17. I was in high school. I graduated when I was at 17. I had Megan when I was 18. Yeah. Started my own business when I was 18 too. My first business when I was 18. Yeah, so I can stay home with my kids. And so they can never go to a daycare.
Yeah, that was the daycare?
That was a daycare. I was 18 when I started the daycare. Yeah. It wasn't, even though I was out, it wasn't no free living. Like I was paying rent when I was 15 years old. So having the business, I was paying rent. You know, I bought my first home when I was 21 years old. I'm talking a mortgage, not rent. 21 years old. So car notes, insurance, you know, gas, electric, water, all that. Yep.
I always hear about how fun the daycare was.
It was good. I'm gonna tell you something. What camera am I? Daycare?
Yeah, you know.
Listen, you make some good money. I made good money. Like I said, I bought my first home daycare. You know, but then, and I did it for my kids. You know what I'm saying? And so I can stay home with them. But after a couple of years, Chris and Megan was like, we tired. And then I was older. By this time, I'm like 26. And I was like, I ain't staying with this dude. This ain't gonna work. I can't stand his guts. I'm not with all of this. Something is not right about this Kingdom Hall stuff. I don't know what it is yet. but I'm gonna go out there and find it. You know, so I ended up leaving him. Yeah.
Always looking.
Always searching. Always searching. Yep. Yep. Always searching.
Let's move into later in life, just a little bit later.
Okay.
You actually, I guess, ended right where I'm about to pick up.
Okay.
So later, you are married to someone else. Now you got 3 kids in the picture. I entered the picture. Congratulations. And you in school, you a full-time nurse. I guess I want to start. I did hear you mention you wanted to go into like the police force.
Yeah.
How did you get into nursing? Was it like, I can make some good money? Or was it?
No.
Yeah.
So your father actually, because I worked at the bank. I was working at the bank. I was a teller at the bank.
Real professional.
And yes, girl, real professional. Right down. It was back then. It was First Union, and then it changed to Wachovia. Now I don't know what it is.
Wells Fargo.
Okay. So I was working at the bank, and I was like, I was a really good teller. You know, really good with people. The customers used to bring me flowers and food. I mean, it was, and I was like, you know, and then he was like, you should be a nurse. And I was like, a nurse? I was like, oh, okay. And that's how it started. Just like that, as a suggestion. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll look into that.
And it just picked up from there?
It just picked up from there.
You was never like, I can't do no blood. See, anytime I think about becoming a nurse, I think blood, but I also think fluid.
Yeah, but I started to think, well, you know what? If I be a nurse, then I can take care of my grandmother when she get old.
Aww.
You know, I was like, ain't nobody gonna, you know, run no games on her. Yeah, okay.
And you always saw bedside nurse.
Yeah,
like when you initially started.
Yeah, because I didn't know the vast field of nursing. I just thought hospital. That's all that I thought.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah. Yep.
So what would you say was the hardest part of that chapter?
Being a nurse?
Just the whole juggling, being a wife, being the mom of 3 kids. At this point, you have 2 teenagers, and I'm like real little. Mm-hmm. So how did you juggle that?
It was normal for me. You know, I don't even think I would classify it as juggling. It was just something that I had to do. I had always been doing it. You know, I think I've always been taking care of myself since I would say I started braiding hair like I was 10. I started braiding hair at 12 years old. When I was 12 years old, that was the last time I ever remember my mother doing anything for me. So I always had to do, you know, so it wasn't something that I had to juggle. I had my son when I was 15. I had Megan when I was 17. I had you, I was 26. I've always been the doer. So it wasn't a juggle. It was just something that I had to do because I was planning. You know, planning ahead. I'm going to do this. And if I could do this. And even now to this day, I be writing stuff down. You know, so I've always just did it because it what was needed to be done. It wasn't a discussion, you know, or I didn't have to think about, oh, am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? I did what I needed to do.
Yeah. Because when I look back, like now in hindsight, I'm like, dang, you had a lot to do. Yeah. And you just never showed it. Yeah. Even now, you never show it.
Yeah.
Especially now, though.
Yeah.
She's like crazy calm.
Yeah.
Like we had some house stuff that was going on not too long ago, and she was just, it's okay.
Yeah.
As the ceiling collapses. No, it wasn't the ceiling, but it's just.
Yeah, it was a flood. It was a situation. But yeah.
I want to go back to nursing real quick because that's like a big part of the story.
Yeah.
Was there ever a patient or a time in the hospital that made you feel like you couldn't take this on? And when I say that, I say because it's so much emotional baggage. It's a lot of emotional baggage, similar to like what teachers go through when their students come and they kind of trauma dump everything. But in the hospital, you like actually seeing it. You seeing people come in and out. You seeing patients pass. And so, was there ever a time that you were intimidated by the emotional heaviness of being a nurse?
Never.
Dang, you
Never.
don't nothing scare you.
Now I have to credit the nurses that trained me too. I mean, and they say that nursing is a calling, right? And for me, it was a calling because I'm a healer. And I definitely understand that in my life today. I'm a healer and I love helping people genuinely from here. So I was never intimidated by anything. Was I a new nurse? Yes. Did I
Yeah.
know everything? No. But I had a group of nurses, baby. When I tell you, legit. 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 However you want to say it. And even to this day, one of my preceptors, when I was a brand new nurse, I graduated in 2009. I started at Southern Maryland Hospital in 2010. That same nurse was my preceptor to this day in my degree today.
Dang.
So I was never intimidated. Now, it was a challenge with the blood issue because Jehovah Witnesses don't do blood. I don't know what they do now, but they don't do they didn't do blood transfusions. So as a nurse, when I had a patient that had needed a blood transfusion, my mind started playing tricks on me. You know what I'm saying? But um but yeah, it was never a time that I was intimidated. I mean, when I had one of my patients, the first patient to die, I was like, "Oh my god, this real." And I'm like, but then it becomes the norm, you know and death doesn't affect me the way that it affects other people, only because it's my job, only because I've seen it so much, right? So nothing ever intimidated me. Have there ever been moments that I've been sad? Yeah.
About
A
work. A
patient.
patient, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There have been moments where I have been touched. To this day I still think of
That
four
guy.
people.
Oh, okay.
I still think of four patients. In
Wow.
16 years, I think of four patients. So yeah, nothing ever, no, never razzled me.
Do anything razzle you?
I have moments. I'm human. But for me, I always know that everything is always gonna work out. And today I am conscious that the energy that I put out is genuine. It's genuine and it's pure. And I don't wish no ill will on nobody. I just want everybody to get whatever it is that they deserve. And I always say, if that makes you afraid, that ain't my business. That ain't my problem, because I'm not wishing bad. I'm just wishing that everybody get what they give. And for me, I genuinely want to give good energy. And so I know good energy going to come back to me, right? Everything always going to work out. Look at where I came from and where I am today. I have no reason to doubt anything because I don't put energy that would bring negativity back to me. Am I perfect? No. Do things happen and I'll be like, that's an inconvenience.
Yeah.
That right there is an inconvenience. You know what I'm saying? But I just lay down, go to sleep,
Sure do.
and I'm like, it's nothing that I can do about it. You know, if the water from the washing machine dripping down the steps, there's nothing that I can do. If I flick off and spaz out, the water's still gonna drip down the steps. And then I'm gonna get all, I ain't got time for all that. You know what I'm saying? So everything always gonna work out. Life happens for everybody, right? It happens for me. But the less negativity I put out, the less negativity I got to worry about coming back to me and affecting me, which is going to affect my children and my home. So I be chilling.
Yeah, you be chilling.
I be chilling.
So we, you touched on it a little bit, like Jehovah's Witness,
Yeah.
sprinkle here, sprinkle there.
Yeah.
Can you talk about kind of the role that played growing up? I'm going back a little bit. I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
hopping
Yeah. Yeah.
back and
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah.
role that it played, something that may have seemed like a bad thing when you step out, it
Mm-hmm.
was kind of a good thing in the moment. So,
Yeah.
what do you yeah, let me hear your thoughts on that.
So now I can look back and say that the Kingdom Hall was a gatekeeper. You know, it allowed me to live, but I stayed in the yard, you know. So being in the Kingdom Hall, it prevented me from getting involved in a lot of things.
You think you would have?
I probably not,
But you
but I don't know.
right.
But I don't know what I would have been exposed to had I not had those boundaries. So now I know that it's unhealthy. It's very unhealthy because you're not allowed to speak about any abuse. Well, I don't know what they got going on now. Hopefully, with the way that the world has changed, they change. But for me, nah. Abuse, you keep it quiet, you keep it inside. You don't say nothing because you don't want to ripple no feathers and then people looking at you, oh, she bad association or she this or she that. You know what I'm saying? And then you get a stigma that stay with you forever. Because I got it. I was disfellowship child. And what that is, they will put like if you do something right and you not sorry enough to them, they will put you out.
Sorry
Even
enough.
inside your heart, you are devastated. They will put you out. And you still got to go to the Kingdom Hall. And you still got to be among all these people who don't speak to you. Don't say nothing to you. Don't speak to you. Act like you are dead man walking. And I did that repeatedly. And then the abuser is free to roam around and sitting at the table with the big dogs. So today I know it's very unhealthy. Mm-hmm. Back looking at it now, for me today it was a benefit because I learned the Bible, right? And today it ain't nobody that will ever be able to run no game on me with no Bible. Ever. Ever.
Ever.
Not even the Jehovah Witnesses. So I also learned like certain things I appreciate, like the role of a wife, for real.
Yeah, we were just talking about that. Like the
Yeah.
little tidbits that you learn along the way.
And in the Bible, and it's not a Jehovah Witness teaching because it's in the Bible, like about your association, about the role of a wife, just generally the principles, right?
The
Not that you can't speak and this and that, because certain things that they used to do back then, women wearing pants to the Kingdom Hall. Men got beards now. That was unheard of when I was coming up. So it was such a rigid structure, but I enjoyed certain things. Like the people that knocked on my door, to this day, my ride or die. To this day, they are still in my life, supporting me like they did when I met them when I was 15 years old. But for my children, I certainly know that it was challenging for all of y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that bothered me. That bothered me. But I don't let it I don't let it keep me down because I know that I did the absolute best thing that I thought was right at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so now we're all together. And that's what I mean when I say things always work out. They always work out. It was tough for us in that Kingdom Hall. Tougher for y'all growing up. But if you look at the flip side of it, I was 15 years old with a child, 17, 18 years old with two, 25 with three, or 26 with three. All of the other responsibilities, and I had the responsibility of the Kingdom Hall. All that pressure on me. You know what I'm saying? So today, I got my kids with
We
me.
good.
And we happy. I mean, we're growing still.
Yeah.
But we together. You know what I'm saying? We together.
Mm-hmm.
So even with that, I can only be thankful. I can only be thankful. Because a lot of them ain't where we at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They ain't where we at. We travel together. We laugh together. We joke together. We talk every single day. I talk to my kids every day. And imagine if we was in a Kingdom Hall and one of y'all was disfellowship. I couldn't talk to y'all. We couldn't have the joy that we have today. So with us knowing where we all came from religious wise, look at us today. We together. you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would your 15-year-old self be surprised that you've accomplished? I mean, obviously, it's a lot of things, but if 15-year-old Dr. Mommy had to look back now,
I would be surprised that I got two kittens.
what? Everything you did?
Yeah. I would be, you know what? I would be surprised that I had two kittens because I didn't want pets. I wasn't a pet person.
And we had multiple pets.
I was never a pet person, but I would be surprised. I would look back at myself and I would be surprised that I'm single, that I'm not married. I would be very surprised if I say my 15-year-old self looking at my 50-year-old self not being married. When I told you I've always wanted to be a wife. But even with that, I like these years was definitely needed because I've never been alone. Until the last 8 years we've been out the Kingdom Hall. 8-9 years. Yeah. So I've never been alone, and so having this time to, reflect and let go a lot of stuff and learn myself and accomplish so much without being in a relationship was definitely a benefit. But I would be very surprised that I'm not married.
I'm surprised too.
I love it though.
I think we will all say that. Me, Chris, and Megan. I think we will all say that.
Hall. You can't, you gotta, girl, listen. But yeah, I'd be surprised. The kittens and not married.
Crazy cats. Oh, I gotta show y'all. We got another cat. She is just amazing. Little Star. I call her Star Girl. I'm gonna put a video of her in here. A video of her messing with Legend. What would you say is the most important? Well, what would you say is the most valuable life lesson that you have learned? Like one that you will tell for generations and you'll put it on a shirt and you just gonna go to the mountaintop and scream it.
Hurt people hurt people. But healed people heal people. So for me, my environment is important. Energy is important. I would pay attention to how I feel. I would pay attention to how people make me feel. And I wouldn't ignore it. And we talk about this when I go on my tangents.
Yeah.
When you walk into a room and you feel that, Pay attention to it, you know. And I would do that. I would pay attention to how people made me feel, how environments made me feel. I would pay attention to the relationships that I'm involved in, and not just romantically, intimately, or anything like that. I mean, with friends, you know, because I'm such a giver. And if you're a giver and that person is a taker, then who giving to you? When your cup goes down,
Mm-hmm.
who pouring into your cup? You pouring into your own cup somehow. And that's how I've always been. You know what I'm saying? I've never been able to call somebody and say, I need help. And this is why I need help. You know, if I ever say I'm down, oh, you strong. You strong. You strong. Okay. No, right. You know, so if I got to build myself up, then I don't even need you in my life. And that's why you never see me with no groups. You don't never see me hanging out in my home with anybody. But I'm not lonely because I got myself. I've always been with myself. You know what I'm saying? Even when I do things and I let myself down, I'm good because I'm going to build myself up. You know? So I would that's what I would say. I would definitely pay attention to how people make me feel. Pay attention to the energy in the groups that I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take my leave. Wish them well, and I would take my leave because it's not going to help you. It's not going to help me in the long run. So I would say, Sharon, listen, you're going to do some amazing things in your life. You're going to help a lot of people, but you got to be careful because that genuineness that you have is always somebody that's going to be willing to take and take and take from you until they can't take no more. In that moment that you say no, I've lost so much. You know, I've lost a lot. But today, I have I don't have any complaints. I don't have no complaints about anything. Do I want more? Yes. Do I need more? No.
Right.
No. So that's what I would say. Pay attention to the energy. You know, when you feel that done, listen to it. Listen to it. Don't ignore it. I'm trying to tell you. Don't make excuses for other people's behavior. Just because you want things to be a certain way, or you know, you want this to work out, or you want, no, it ain't. You know what I'm saying? It's telling you right there it ain't gonna work. So don't waste your time unless you just want to learn more. Okay, you gonna learn the day.
Oh gosh. So I put on my story, like I mentioned before, I put the bio, told people a little bit about you, and I gave them an opportunity to ask some questions. So we have 4 questions that were submitted. Ready?
Okay.
Um, first question we have: what advice would you give to first time moms?
Oh, that's a good one. I would tell a first time mom, always let your child know and feel love and safety. Everything that you go through, your child is going through with you. So if you are ever in any situations, any relationships, and it's arguing and it's negativity, and if it's hard for you as an adult, how you think the child is going to manage those feelings? So always try to keep your environment and the choices that you make. Don't just think about yourself. Think about how it's going to affect your child. Now, every situation, you can't plan it out to be perfect, right? But if you have the ability to choose, that goes back to making sure you pay attention to how people make you feel. Because if they making you feel a certain way with no child, when you got a child in it, the child gonna feel it. The child gonna, you know, look. when a certain cup is put down a certain way or a door is shut, and you don't want to raise nervous children because they become afraid and nervous adults. You know, always let your child feel safe and feel loved from infancy all the way up. Those formidable years are so. Mm, excuse me, I'm eating candy. Those formidable years are so important, And if I had to go back and do it over again, I would make different choices for my children. I wouldn't stay in certain situations because I hoped for the best, because it affected all of my children. So that's something that I would tell a new mom. Make sure the environment that you put in your children in are conducive to growth that is best, not just for you, but for them too. Always. Don't be so hard on your children. Don't curse at your children. Don't take things like it's the end of the world for your children because you want them to feel safe. You want them to be able to make a mistake and drop the egg and be able to, be able to come to you. Because if they don't come to you, they're going to go to somebody else.
Mm.
And you don't want nobody else outside telling you what to do in your house. So always set a good example for your children. Let them look at you and be like, I want to be like my mother when I grow up. Yeah.
Yeah. Next one we have is, when did you understand the importance of mental health? Which is still, I would say, fairly a new thing. Like, people wasn't talking about mental health and mental health days, that kind of thing.
Yeah. It wasn't until 8 years ago when I left the Kingdom Hall, because that was devastating for me. Not just to leave, not just the circumstances that I left, but to find out that I had lived in this bubble of untruth, that I had raised my children in this. It was devastating for me. And when I say, I say I'm questioning everything. You know how them things be on,
Yeah.
I wanted to commit suicide. I said, oh my God. The only thing that was holding me on is I can't leave my children. And so I said, I'm going to go and I'm going to get help this time. But this time I'm going to tell the truth. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm going to tell the truth. And that's when I really realized that mental health is important. It's so important. I think everybody in this world need therapy. You ain't gotta be going through nothing for you to be able to talk to somebody, because we all have things that we need to talk to somebody about.
Yes.
Yeah. And I am telling you, don't try to carry it by yourself, because that stuff just pack on, and it's like packing. And then when you can't fit no more, you explode. And then you say things that you don't mean. Mm-hmm. And you do things that you don't intend to do. Do things that you're going to regret later. So mental health, I realized it 8 years ago, when I finally had no choice but to stop and breathe. There was no Jehovah. Mm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. 8 years ago. And we didn't have mental health growing up.
Right.
Man, we had people getting killed. Drug addicts all around, even my own home. I mean, people being raped and molested. Ain't nobody go to no therapy. What? Therapy?
Yeah.
No, we ain't do that. And now it's a common thing now. Which is why I mental health. I am, definitely reach out. If that one therapist that you get, if y'all don't vibe, it's about 89,000 more. Keep going till you get somebody that you can trust.
Yeah.
So about 8 years ago, I realized it was important.
less than 10 years ago.
Yep.
It's crazy. Still very recent.
Yep.
This one is very generic.
Mm-hmm.
How can I be a better woman?
It depends on what you think a better woman is. What is it that you want to do different than what you're doing now? Why aren't you a better woman now? What is it that, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What is a better woman, to your particular situation now? For me, I don't want to say be a better woman because I've certain things I've had to change. Okay. And how did I become a better woman? I did an honest self-evaluation. Honesty.
Mm-hmm.
I know I shouldn't be talking to that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you got to be honest with yourself. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Uh-huh.
For me, being honest, I know goodness well I should not be talking to this guy.
Mm.
That's not proper. So I'm not going to do that no more because I don't want to feel bad. Then I said, I don't want to do things and then have to recover from it tomorrow.
Mm.
So then I said, okay, that's going to make me a better woman. What is my goals? I want to be not just a wife, a good wife. What do I think a good wife is? Okay, this is what a good wife is. Okay, so I'm going to work towards that. How am I in private? Am I okay with me when I'm by myself? Am I proud of myself? Everything that I did today, when I lay down at night, am I going to say, well done? Well done, good and faithful woman. Yeah. So it's all self-truth, self-honesty. If you go out throughout your day and you be like, ooh, that was wrong of me, then don't do it tomorrow. Don't do it the next time. And then you become a better woman slowly. It's not something overnight. You can't read a book and do it. It's a practice. Practice, practice, practice. And then one day you be sitting in your house and you be like, damn, I'm proud of myself.
Yeah.
So it takes time. First, it's be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Because you know what you're doing. You know you shouldn't be doing that. You know what I'm saying? So just stop those things. Nobody knows but you, but you still with yourself.
Always.
Always
24/7. Even when you sleep.
Just slowly.
Yeah.
Just slowly make slow changes, so you can be proud of you and who you want to be. Not who this person, not who that. If you want to wear fur, this person with PETA, you ain't got nothing to do with them. You do what you do that make you feel okay with who you are as a woman. And that's what I do.
Mm-hmm. And that can go for men and women,
and
honestly.
Men, women,
anybody.
People.
Self-evaluation.
Yeah,
self-honesty.
Self-evaluation. Because then when you change, you become more confident.
Yeah.
You hold your head up. You ain't got nobody judging you. Because, I mean, people going to judge you regardless. But I'm okay with me. And it's nothing that nobody can say about me, baby, that I can't say about myself. And we ain't talking about yesterday because I ain't even back there. But if you want to go back there, I'll dip for a minute. I'll go first. But can we talk about you? No. But see, I changed my entire thinking, right? So I move different. I walk different. I'm okay with myself,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just one step at a time. Don't be hard on yourself because the world is a hard place. We already got enough people judging us for this and judging us for that. Don't be hard on yourself. You imperfect. We all are. Just take it one step at a time, And you will never get there because we'll never be perfect, but you'll be good.
Yeah. You'll be straight.
You'll be straight. Exactly.
Okay. Last question we have. Did you ever find yourself blaming your circumstances for, let's say, things that go wrong or things that you want to happen? Did you ever find yourself saying, well, I could have if this person...
I am sure that I have. I'm sure that I have. But one of the things that I realize and that I understand, can't nobody make me or break me but me, right? There's only but so much that you can blame another person for, especially as an adult. You know, it's different if you're a child and, you running across the street, you walking across the red light, somebody dragging you along. But as you grow, you start to make decisions and be accountable to yourself. Now, I'm not saying that people don't put you in situations,
Yeah.
or that you don't end up in situations because of other people, because absolutely you do. But I don't blame anybody for anything, because today I know who I am. I know what I want out of life. So I ain't going to let nobody put me in those situations that's going to go in opposite direction that I'm trying to go. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Things happen in your life. In my life, things have happened in my life. I've been severely depressed, because of what other people have done to me. But I'm not there no more, right? I'm not going to allow what they did to me 40 years ago, when the world was in black and white, to shape to shape and direct me now that I'm in 5D. Mm-hmm. So if that is the situation, acknowledge it, process it, and deal with it, and recognize that you've already won, because you're still here. You already won. So it ain't no need to keep going back. I heard something the other day that said when you take the trash out, you don't be looking to see what they doing with your trash. What they doing with my trash? My trash at that landfill. Where my trash at? Nah, you want that trash far away from your house because it's smelling. You done had crabs. You want it away from your house. You don't go looking for it no more. Mm-hmm. So for me, all of the things that I've gone through, the negativity, the depression, the suicidal thoughts, the horrible relationships, all of that stuff is trash. I ain't looking for it. I ain't looking for it no more. I mean, and that's not to say that certain things don't kind of like make me feel, but then I check myself, because I say, I ain't dead. I'm laying sideways in my bed. I ain't there no more. Look at where I'm at. I ain't got no reason to complain about nothing. And that's because of me and what I did with my mental health. Right? So, people, unfortunately, in the world, that's why I said everybody needs therapy in the whole world. Everybody go through things. Nobody has a perfect life. But when you start to say, well, you know what? I can control this. I can control the people that I'm around. I'm paying attention to how people make me feel. So then you start to become a better woman, because you're changing, you changing little things about yourself and changing how things make you feel. So then at some point in your life, you start to be relaxed one day and you be like, And then the
get
next
used
day,
to this.
Oh, this is nice. And then, you know what I'm saying? Your whole life changed. But that's all you. That's all your thinking that do that. Nobody else can control your life but you. Don't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And it may take 8-9 years, but you will get there.
By any means.
Hey, by any means necessary, for sure.
That wraps up our questions. And was I supposed to open that on camera?
Yes, I got you again. Let me hold your Oh, that. So, I just want to tell you that as your mom, I am so proud of you. I'm proud of all of y'all. Every single one of my children. I am so proud of y'all. And I want y'all to be proud of me. I want y'all to be proud of me. So this is a little something that I got for you. Just a little token of a little token. Open.
Cute.
And they're pink.
I was just about to say that.
They match these, girl.
I heard these the word. Ooh.
I know, right?
Now I can cuddle with all my guests. Oh,
Look at it, girl.
it's so pretty. Thank you.
You're
My
welcome.
feet be cold. It's really nice quality too. I wouldn't expect anything less. Period. Thank you so much,
You're
Mommy.
welcome. Thank y'all for the question.
Yes, thank you for the questions, y'all. Really, because like I was like, dang, we gonna get any questions? Where y'all at? Then they started coming in, so I was like, okay, tell us what you have going on now.
Now I am a psych NP, y'all.
Psych,
Psychiatric mental health nurse
PHMNP
practitioner.
BC. Don't forget the
Little
BC.
Southeast, Little South, board certified. That's right, Little Southeast. But yes, I am a nurse practitioner now. Having my own practice and just looking forward to growing. And I don't know what the future gonna hold for me. I think I might go to school one more time.
Oh my gosh. Enough is enough.
But even with that, and I'm focusing on my spirituality too. Not religion, but spirituality. I'm focusing on that. But yeah, my latest career move is I'm a psych MP now.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, that's the main
But she be
thing.
doing a lot of side missions.
That's true.
A lot of side missions. Like, I don't think it's anything that you can't do.
That's true.
I know.
But
because I've
what I
seen
don't
it.
know that I don't know. I don't know yet, but I'm gonna find out.
But you're going to find out and you're going to figure it out.
I'm gonna figure it
You crazy.
out. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
It's really funny to think like we the same kind of person, kind of.
You're like me.
Something like that.
Kind of, sort of like, yeah.
Do I have that?
Yes, you do.
I can't put stuff together.
Well,
Like, you're very handy. Like, I be coming home. It be whole shelves
yeah.
built. It be new stuff on the ceiling,
Yep.
new floors.
Yep.
I'm like, who came over here and did this? I did
Me.
it.
Yeah, sure enough.
Well, thank you for coming on and letting me get all up in your business.
Yes, thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
And thank y'all for asking the questions. Of course, I love your friends. Y'all so cool. Yeah, thank you so much. In a perfect world.
Go ahead.
Teen moms.
Teen moms?
Yeah, teen moms.
Okay.
Just because you're a teen mom, that ain't the end.
Why you looking at me?
I'm just saying. Oh, look at the camera. Hey, listen. If you are a teen mom, listen. I'm not telling you go be a teen mom, but if you are, let that be your motivation for success. Look at me. Yeah.
That was good. I like that. Okay, guys. So I will catch you next week. We're going to be interviewing someone new. And there's definitely a lot of information to take from these episodes. Y'all see how we coming strong, coming with just real valuable life lessons and tips, stuff that you can actually carry throughout your week and throughout your month and hopefully throughout your life. So I will see you next week with a new video.